Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Tally Faye. It's already been a long one. We have already made 3 videos, and we have like 3 more to make today. But the next thing that Coral is going to help me with, I'm not doing it because nobody can top her on this. She is the queen of pinwheels in our family, y'all. So she's gonna make them up, and we will show y'all just how delicious they are. And get you a pencil, and you better write it down exactly as she says it, because she is the one that knows how to make these things. And you know, I've got the recipe wrote down. Oh, which by the way, y'all, listen, this is a short sidestep. But okay, I have had all this time, for over a year now, this is my recipe book holder.
She hangs it from the camera, y'all, like.
Okay, this holds my recipes. Well, she came in today. Her and her mama come and visiting with us for the weekend, and they went into Iola to all the little shops and stuff. Well, one of her favorite shops is a good friend of mine, Robin Johnson. She owns Ruby Jewels in Iola, y'all.
It is the best little shop. You can find everything.
Oh, it's just one of those fun little places, right? But anyway, Coral Heather comes home, and she's like, here. So I end up, here's my recipe books. She's got this. She said, what'd you tell me? Throw away your...
I said, throw away your janky hanger.
Janky hanger. So anyway, whatever, right? But look, see, look how cuteness it is.
And it matches her color scheme, y'all.
Yeah, she found something turquoise, right? But anyway, now I don't have a janky recipe book hanger.
A janky hanger hanging from her camera, y'all.
Whatever. Okay, don't be hating.
Call me bougie. I know it worked, but this is a little
well,
better.
It's cuteness. And hey, if y'all want something like this, come to Ruby Jewels in Iola, Texas. All right. Anyway, we're gonna make these delicious pinwheels, the best ones I've ever eaten.
So here's the backstory on my pinwheels. I started making pinwheels when I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old at Thanksgiving, and it was my job. Like, fruit salad and pinwheels were my job. They've been called biker bites. They've been called pinwheels. We call them pinwheels in our family. And again, like I told you in the last video, I am a brand snob. Like, to me, nothing tastes better. You cannot get H-E-B brand or off-brand or store-brand cream cheese and it tastes the same. It doesn't to me. But again, brand snob, okay? So we're gonna start out with 2 softened blocks of Philadelphia whole fat cream cheese, okay? And I do not waste because, again, waste not, want not, and they're too good to waste. So I'm gonna scrape that package. I know it looks a little weird. And like I said, this is softened cream cheese, so I've let it sit out for about an hour just to soften in the box.
Get good in room temperature.
Room temperature. It's easier to mix up that way, and it's easier to spread that way. So there we are. Now we have 2 small cans. Now this is a double batch. My wonderful cousin came and brought me some shortening earlier, and so as a payment, I'm going to send her home with a batch of pinwheels.
So this is a double recipe, so they can have this.
Yes.
Okay.
But so for all purposes, we are doing a double batch. So split it, unless you're doing a big party, okay?
Yeah, okay.
A big crowd. So this is our black olives. They're a 4.25 ounce
and
black
olives.
Diced.
Is it diced? What you say? Chopped or diced?
Chopped black olives. Chopped ripe olives.
The chopped ones.
Okay. And so here's the deal with that. I drain them. I open them and drain them because they do have a little juice in them. And I don't prefer the juice, and it doesn't work in my recipe. And that's probably, it makes it thinner.
Okay.
It makes it thinner, and again,
so like you squish the lid and everything. You like
I squish the lid into it.
I thought I seen her doing that. So drain your olives really well, okay?
So we've got that. So we're We're gonna
Here,
put that
I'll
over
take
there. Okay, my next step, again, brand snob. Hidden Valley Ranch Dip Mix. Again, double batch, so we're using 2. All right. Don't waste it. Make sure you get all the good powders out. And don't sneeze, because if you get too close, you will sneeze. It's just the way it is.
Just saying.
Throwing that out there for you. All right. So, Hidden Valley Ranch Dip Mix. Again, you want all of it. All right. Next, chopped or sliced jalapenos. I like the Trappy's brand. You can use whatever brand you want, okay? So,
Oh, you're not a brand snob on that, huh?
I like the Trappy's brand, but you can get any brand. I do not recommend homemade because they're not as crisp. They turn out mushy and you don't want mushy, okay? So I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I do this. I put about a tablespoon of the jalapeno juice in there. And that is what I do different than everybody else in my family. All right. And then I like them a little on the spicy side, but you don't have to. I'm going to make them mild because I don't know how Becca likes them, and I usually try to mild them out a little bit for the family.
Girl, she don't care. You make them just like you make them.
Well, then I make them on the mild side because that's what I do for the family events so that people will eat them. They probably would prefer them a little hotter. All right, so we're going to set that to the side, and I'm going to chop up. This is roughly 10 slices, just jalapeno slices, if you can see that. So, rough chop, guys, rough chop. Watch your fingers, don't cut yourself. Nobody wants blood in the family pinwheels.
No finger pieces.
No finger pieces. Now, as I'm making this, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't eat a whole lot at Thanksgiving because I am always sampling everything I make because I want it to be good. In our house, okay, in other people's house, it's called the mom tax, okay? We take something off their plate and take a bite, and we're like, I just have to check, you know, it's a mom tax, right? In our house, we call it, I have to check to make sure it's not poisoned. Like, I'm gonna, hey, Mom, don't eat my french fry. I just have to make sure it's not poisoned. So in our family, we sample everything. Now, when I am cutting these up and I'm making them and I have them spread out on tortillas, don't think that every one of our family members doesn't come by here and try to snatch one. So what I do as I make them is I give them the end pieces, don't I? I'm like, here's the end pieces, the ugly pieces. Because there's nothing worse than having, I don't know, I also am a looks person, so when I put them on the tray, I want them to look pretty. So the ugly end pieces get eaten before they get put on a tray, because we're not doing that. We're not putting them on the tray. This is probably a 1/4 cup, all chopped up. This is probably, and like I said, it's a rough chop. I'm gonna show y'all. It is a rough chop, okay? That's about how big it is. It's a 1/4 cup of chopped jalapenos. Whoop. Just stabbed myself. Stabbed myself in the arm with a knife. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. And I'm standing for this part because to me, you need a little leverage. Even though the cream cheese is room temperature, you're gonna take just a regular fork and you're gonna start.
Is that what you use every time?
A regular fork. Every time.
You always do that? I didn't realize that.
A regular fork, and you're gonna mash the ingredients into the cream cheese.
Oh my
You wanna
gosh,
mash?
they're already looking so good, Barb. You know.
I know. You can smell them.
Smell them.
So, like I said, this is a double batch. It is going to make a bunch. Once we mix them up, we're going to get our mission tortillas, the burrito size. Again, brand snob.
You think the mission ones do the best
just because they roll better, they're flatter and thinner. I love me some good homemade fresh tortillas. That is my favorite thing in the world. But when it comes to the pinwheels, you need a flatter, more thin surface.
I love the mission
and
tortillas.
Yeah. And when you go to the store, guys, what I told my dad, because he went to the store for us, which is, he's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
He's amazing.
That's my
You
buzz.
want them to be bendy. You don't want them to be hard. And what I told him was, if they're hard or feel stale and they don't roll or bend, you don't want them. Put them back and get from the bottom of the barrel because they're old.
Go to the next pack, whatever.
Go to the next pack and you'll
Flexible.
find the flexible tortillas. All right, so y'all can see this is all good and meshed up, but I'm gonna keep going just for intensive purposes because you want that ranch to be all intertwined, okay? But you can see how easy it is to mash now. That's why you want to use room temperature cream cheese. You want to have your olives drained because you don't want that juice in there because it'll make it too runny. And you want to use your tablespoon and a half of your jalapeno juice. And that's what makes it, I've heard people use ranch dressing in it. No, don't do that. You want to use the jalapeno juice. You want to use the jalapeno juice. That gives it that extra zing and it makes it the creamy like it's supposed to. We'll get those tortillas out in just a minute and get those spreaded on, and we'll see you in a few short minutes. Okay, y'all. So we are slicing up our pinwheels. They are about a ½ inch thick. Like we said earlier, we like to put our pinwheels in the refrigerator. We have already put all of the ones that we've sliced in the refrigerator for tomorrow to harden up. So we slice them about a ½ inch thick. It makes the perfect bite. It makes them not taste too much like ranch dressing. It's got the perfect salt and regular. So y'all make these and enjoy. And this is what's in the kitchen with Tally Faye.